go.
Okay. Here we are.
Oh, that's so funny. I love this.
Episode number 5
Yes.
of In the Car with You. We're here with Shantae as our co-host and Sharita. And so the first question that we ask everybody on our drive is, how'd you get here?
Get here. I had some amazing parents. No, I'm kidding.
Well, if we want to go to Inception, we can. The car ride that long, girl.
How did I get here? I was always a big dreamer. I thought I was going to be an actress.
Really?
I really did. I don't know why. I think the introvert in us, we always think that we want to do something, but we really don't. Because I'm an introvert for real, in real life. So why did I think that I was going to be an actress?
I was just going to say, how many actors and actresses do you think, though, are
really introverts?
Introverts or extroverts? Like, that would be an interesting data point, wouldn't it be?
Wait, why do I feel like you're going to do that and let us know?
I'll just ask ChatGPT.
Okay, cool. Okay, let me know. Yes, but that's always something. And people are like, okay, so what were you going to do? And I say, I thought I wanted to be an actress. I don't know why I thought that, but I guess that's why I became a great writer, because I used to write my own scripts.
Oh, okay.
Tyler, call me. No, well, maybe. I'm like,
okay.
No, but I used to write all the time and act them out. Maybe that was I don't know where that came from.
Did you have anybody in your family who was a writer?
No.
Or a performer of any sort?
None.
Interesting.
That's so
yeah,
funny.
You just caught the
You
bug.
just literally, you just asked me something that no one asked me.
Oh, well, good.
But I think that the only other person I was working with a fintech company, and they were just like, are you kidding? You want to be an actress, but you're an introvert. I was just like, yeah, I know. 2 different spectrums. It didn't make sense. But in my head, I thought I could do it. I like to perform, but the introvert in me is like, we don't even want that type of attention.
I can feel that. Fridays, I'm an introvert.
Really?
Yeah, I get to the end of my week and I'm like...
Is it a reset for you?
Yeah, I think it's also just because I'm in that mental space of like, I'm going into the weekend and I'm like ready to like relax, spend time with my family, be at home, not people.
So you're an extroverted introvert.
Yeah.
I like it.
And I used to be more extroverted.
Wait a minute.
And then
so you're not extroverted?
I mean, I am.
Yes.
But like I get energy
you are
from
the
it.
people's champion.
Right. I get energy from it, but there's also like it takes away from me too. You know?
Really?
Does that make sense?
Right. So I'm an iPhone, literally. Like I literally am an iPhone. I have a little bit of a battery. We know without that charger from an iPhone, it drains fast. You won't be streaming. And that's how I am. When they say, well, identify yourself, I'm an iPhone. I was just like, because
I do a camera check at this intersection, so just to make sure we're still
still
rolling. We're
Yes.
still rolling.
So I need to recharge. I need to sit with myself. I think I did a post recently, and I said that. I was just like, it's surprising to people when I tell them I'm an introvert. I was just like, I love my bat cave. It's my center.
Yeah, I feel that.
So
you were a dreamer, and that's how you got here.
that's how I got here.
A dreamer who wanted to be an actress, and then somewhere you took a hard right.
Very hard right, 2 lefts, and then went down the wrong street. But
Did you go down the wrong street, or were you just going the wrong way down the one way?
You know what? Yeah, that one. It says, oh, wait, and then you hurry up and make that quick turn because you see everything coming towards you. Literally, that was my life. And so it's always, I always tell people, I said, I'm literally in every way not supposed to be in the life that I'm living, from a social economics, just all of the things. I was raised by a single mom. So just doing all of that, just knowing that I hit rock bottom financially, was homeless with 2 kids, and just literally found myself at rock bottom. I found myself, I wrote everything I wrote out that I'm doing right now. I wrote it when I was homeless. And so when the BBC flew to my house, literally 30 days before COVID, we spent 18 hours filming.
Wow.
They wanted to know about my life. And so they came to my house. They came here 3 days prior. I told them all the things that I liked in Houston, and so they checked it out. And so I said, let me take you from where I'm from. Some of it's been regentrified, but let me take you to the parts that has not been regentrified. So if the BBC is watching this, shout out to the BBC and their team. You all are amazing. But yes,
and right before COVID.
Right
too.
before COVID. But who knew?
Right.
They were the nicest people, and so I took them to the most edgiest spots in Houston, and it wasn't the greatest places, but they were just really in tune. So they were just like, I think we got to see the best part of Houston.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so shout out to them. But yeah, they just wanted to know like how I did this. And I have a file cabinet in my garage of all the letters that I wrote to myself and all the journals that I wrote when I was homeless. And so they were like, you kept this.
Do you reread them, or do you need
all
them?
the time?
Really?
I pulled them. I have sticky notes that look like, because they're crunchy sticky notes because they're old. They're old. But I was just writing myself stuff like, and telling my children that I'm going to make you trust fund kids. Like but I was going to the Houston Public Library, like even when we were homeless. And what was funny was that I didn't know that the BBC surprised me, and they decided to film in one of my favorite places. And anybody who knows me personally knows that the library is one of my favorite places in Houston. And so they worked it out with the city, and we were able to film in my favorite place. And one of the librarians that was there when I was homeless is still working there.
Wow.
And so when she saw me, she said, wait, they said that they're bringing somebody here. And so she said, we didn't know, but they had to get waivers for the people because it's still open.
Right.
And so when she saw, and I said her name, and she said, wait a minute, you're the lady with the two little boys. I was like, yes. And so she said, oh my gosh. So when she saw me, she was hugging me. So the BBC's like, wait a minute, this was not wrote, y'all. This was, because they didn't know she was going to be there.
That's so cool.
And so she said, she said that every day. She said every day you were coming here, you were homeless. I was like, yeah, this was our outlet.
Yeah.
And I said, most of the things that I know, I said, I've read the encyclopedias 4 times, all of them 4 times. I said, but I built my vernacular from the Houston Public Library.
Yeah.
And I told them that, and I was just like, so I am truly love the city of Houston. It truly helped to shape. And now you're saying this, how did I get here? I was born in the best city who birthed underdogs.
Yes. Yes. Whew. I got goosebumps. Shantae,
Yes.
what's our first question?
So, Sharita,
Yes.
tell me one thing you're obsessed with right now.
I am obsessed. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I am obsessed with just taking road trips to rural communities. I'm obsessed. Like, I literally have 7 more on my list that I want to do, and it's nothing but road trips. And
Like Texas, where?
Texas, all the way to South Dakota. I've even there's some places that I want to. And I guess what birthed it is my family is originally from what now has been regentrified, but they grew up on ranch and farmland. And so now to be able to go, I want to find those little quirky things in rural communities, because my aunt passed away in 2023. She was 93 years young, and she told me, she said, you know what, I like that we're able to travel from things, but I want you to visit, I want you to go to all the states and visit the places that are not metropolitan cities, and I want you to do that 4 times in each one.
Oh.
And so when she said that, I love a good road trip. I love to fly, but I love a good road trip because I feel like you don't get to dip off of there. What is this? What is that? Mm-hmm. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. Or for the next 18 months, I just want to go to different rural communities and find the thing that makes them fun. Like, we have things in Houston that are Houston, but I want to know in rural communities across the country what makes them and what's their quirky thing.
Yeah, I grew up in the Midwest.
Oh, I love the Midwest.
Missouri and Illinois, because my parents were divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a lot of visiting family out on farms and rural. And I will tell you, the one thing that makes them special is their like county fair,
Mm-hmm.
or their fall festivals, or they have some, like, I grew up in Pittsfield, Illinois, and it was in Pike County, and Pike County was known as like the pig capital of the USA. So like,
Oh, wow.
I grew up raising hogs and stuff
Okay.
like that, and we had pig days, and there'd be like Little Miss Piglet, and then there would be a hog calling contest.
See that?
Yeah.
I need to see that.
And they'd have this like corral of hogs, and
Right.
you'd have to get like a pig to come out of the corral and up to the stage. It was like, so you will find it, I promise you.
That's what I want, because I got the opportunity to connect with like almost over 70 economic development corporations a few weeks ago, and 60% of them were rural. And I was just like, I'm going to come to your place and I want to be able to do the things that you all do. And they're like, are you serious? I was just like, yes.
Go and make sure you know someone when you go,
Yes.
because then they can tell you those quirky things. But also, I want you to be safe.
Yes.
Like,
And so that's why
I'm just saying,
Yes,
like,
I get it. That's why I'm making the little notes on where to go, because then I know someone there and they're expecting me to come.
yes. And then as long as you're walking around with someone
Right.
that they're like your
Yeah, my
Gate-
tour guide.
yeah, your gatekeeper, whatever you want to call that, like, because some
Yeah.
of those small towns are, like, I remember in college, I went to school at Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois, and I'm trying to remember the name of this town that was, I think it was across the river from Peoria.
Mm-hmm.
And their high school mascot was the Chinks.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And they had a sign outside of town that like told people that you needed to leave by sundown. And this was when I was in college, y'all. This is like 2002, 2005.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Not in the 50s.
right, but that's why when I tell you be safe, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Because I'm like, who? That was a good idea. Like,
Who signed off on this?
And to have a sign. I never knew
I
that there was an
know.
actual, like there was a sign.
yeah, that told people
Wow.
to leave, people of color to leave by sundown. Because after sundown, they weren't safe.
That is wild.
Yeah. I cannot for the life of me, it starts with a C, but I
That's
can't.
okay. Is it crazy?
I mean, the name of their mascot and the sign is just enough. It's like,
Right.
signed, sealed, and delivered. Cray.
I was like, wow, okay. But isn't it funny? Why did you, when you say that, my parents, well, my mom specifically, like, of course, I lost my mom to cancer last year, but, you know, I was always talking to her about, tell me some of the things that are quirky. And so my mom was just like, do you realize that I graduated when things were still segregated? So she never was integrated. She never went to school when it was integrated. And so I said, Mom, that's something good to know. So I was always talking to my mom and my aunt so much because they were our living history books.
Yeah.
And so my aunt always said, when you have people who are that far and ahead of you, ask them some of the 5 to 10 quirky things, and you will be
Yeah.
surprised what's not in your history.
Well,
Yes.
especially now,
Right.
with everything that's going on with the erasure of history.
Right.
That-
So I'm glad that I did ask my aunt and my mom all of those quirky things, because I'm like, and it hit me because I was just like, Mom, you graduated. She's like, yeah, I don't know what that. She said, I am glad to see this type of thing, because that was never something that she got to experience. So we had a whole 2-hour dialogue about her asking me questions. What did it feel like? I was just like, well, I don't know. This is how I grew up.
Right, because you don't know anything different.
Yes. But hearing it from her side and her looking, like it was a difference. So she was like literally asking, even though she went through it with us, it's different when you're the parent and you're not doing it. So she never experienced that.
Right. Oh.
She got to see it, but it was never her reality.
I mean, and it's crazy because, like, it seems so long ago.
Right, but it really wasn't.
But it wasn't, right? And I don't know if that's because of the last 10, 11 years have been just so much.
Last 5 years.
Yeah.
COVID was just 5 years ago.
I know, but that's why.
You're like, wow, it wasn't even a decade. But it seems like so much happened.
Yeah.
So,
I've been having a lot of conversations with people who are reflecting on the peaceful protests that happened for, to create social justice and things like that, and how we need to be replicating that now.
Right.
We need to be doing that now because history shows us it worked. And maybe it didn't work 100%.
But some change happened.
Right.
Monumental change happened. And so, having that conversation with my mom, I know there were so many things that she started to see, like, oh my God, this could really happen. And so I think that those conversations and, like what you said, those peaceful protests, it just felt good to see, because there's so much of a social unrest right now. And it just felt like even if we just got just a time of like, man, it seems peaceful.
Yeah. All right, Shantae, what's our next question?
Sharita, what was your first job?
I worked at Astroworld.
What?
So what did you do at Astroworld?
I worked in the gift shop, maybe, and I got to wear a costume. So maybe that was my action.
Okay, well, costume.
We had to change them like all the time, so it was different.
Okay, so I am not a native Houstonian, right?
Okay.
But tell me what was Astroworld? So when you say you had to dress up, like what were you dressing up as?
Astroworld was Houston's theme park. So was there for many years, had so many things literally across from Reliant Energy.
Okay. Right.
So where the Texans play on the other side was
that building that's still there.
No, the field.
The field that's empty was Astroworld.
Yes.
Oh.
And then they built a water park.
They built a water park. Yeah, so we had that before. And so that's where everybody wanted to work as a kid. Like, you wanted to be able to work there. And you felt like that was the epitome of being able to do it. And on the other side, I always was an overachiever. So I had 2 jobs. And so I actually begged them to give me a job. They're closed now, so it's fine. But I had to get a permit and do all those things to kind of work there. But I was using that permit, and I was also working at Subway at the same time. And so because I was always the person who I wanted to always kind of just throw money forward. I don't know. I just always wanted to do that. And so, and of course, with my mom being a single mom, I was trying to help her. But I loved it. And I used to remember, like, oh my gosh, I'm living my dream job, because I used to wear different outfits, like they used to put you in different things. It could be from, one of the things I liked about Astroworld is that they celebrated all the cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I was trying to, in the Midwest, we had Six Flags.
It was a Six Flags.
It was Six Flags, yes, but it was Astroworld for Houston. But yes, it was a really big thing, and they celebrated culture of all cultures. So that's why when I said we had to wear different costumes, it just depended on how they were laying things out.
Now I'm gonna have to Google pictures.
It was so fun.
And then I'm gonna be like, look, there's Sharita.
I know. But yes, I loved it. First job. That was my first job.
What was your first job, Shantae?
My first job was working at Aldo Shoes.
Oh, we like Aldo.
You know, I love fashion, and so that was my first job. But then across the hallway was Williams-Sonoma. And I
love them.
Williams-Sonoma. You know, I'm a foodie. My degree is in hospitality, and I hadn't started college just yet. And so, but once I was able to work at Williams-Sonoma, and I had been trying for years, they just said, you were too young, you were too young. Once my birthday came, on my birthday, I went and applied at Williams-Sonoma and got the job. Started working over there.
I mean, if I could just have like additional cabinets to buy all of their seasonal,
I know,
bakeware,
Everything.
cookware, dishes, just so like at Easter I could have Easter plates, and then at spring I
Yes.
could have little rabbit plates.
Yep.
Just that would
I
make me
actually
happy.
still have my KitchenAid that I bought from there
Oh,
in
wow.
2007.
It still works?
It still works. I used my graduation money, all of it, to buy a KitchenAid.
Okay.
And I still have it. I got it from Williams-Sonoma. Yeah.
Williams-Sonoma, call Shantae.
And you probably got that employee discount too,
I
right?
did. No, actually, I wasn't working there yet.
Oh, but you were committed.
Oh, I'm committed. I still love them. I worked, my last time working there was 2019.
Okay, not
I
that
was
long
their
ago.
chef. I was like the backup chef. So if they needed somebody to do something and their main chef couldn't make it, and then the next chef couldn't make it, then they'd call me and say, hey, can you teach this, what was it, a camp for kids? That was the last thing I did. Can you teach this camp for kids? So I took off work, used my PTO, and went to my favorite place, Williams-Sonoma.
That's so funny.
And worked.
I love it.
I still text my supervisor from Williams-Sonoma. I was talking to her last month. Yeah, Williams-Sonoma is one of my, Williams-Sonoma and Shipley's. Call me. I'm your girl.
What's that bring us to next?
Are you currently doing what you studied in college?
Yes and no. Because when I went to college, I really wanted to be in political science.
Okay.
I walked in there and I didn't see anyone who looked like me in the classroom. So I walked right back out and said, hey, put me in business, finance, or something like that. And so I'm glad that I did, because I met the most amazing professor. Shout out to Mel. So caring, really pushed me to go beyond what I was thinking about when it came to my career, and really just stayed in touch. I'm actually going to his wedding. He is like when I lost my dad, I was thinking about leaving college, and he called me and he said that, you know what, I will never be able to replace your father. And I know we don't look like each other in any sense because I'm a Caucasian male, but he said, know that you have a dad and an ally that's still here. So we love you, Mel. So really, really pivotal on my career. I love finance. I love accounting. He could encourage me to learn international tax. So I am expanding that, but going into, am I doing what I love? I got the opportunity to go back to, because I love advocacy work, I love political science. And so now I'm getting that opportunity to be able to kind of circle back. So if there's something still within you and you just put it down for, I believe, like you said, it was never on the, I know people always say, but my mom told me something. She said, people always say back burner, like it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Right. But
She's
it's back
just-
there for a reason.
She said, you know what? It's still cooking.
We're going to get a coffee.
Yes.
Okay.
She said, it's still cooking.
This is one of my favorite coffee shops. It's not far from my house.
Oh, wow.
And we come here for every podcast.
Yes.
So I'll roll the windows down. I get the same thing every time I come. I get
What do you
purple
get?
haze, which is a floral blend of lavender and honey. And then I do oat milk, and then I put CBD in it. Can you see, Shantae?
Yes, I can.
I can see, yes.
I think last week, Gabby, I think she got the pink loco, and that was a really pretty drink. Good, how are you? Okay, I'm gonna get my usual, which is the purple haze, iced, oat milk, CBD, and then I'm gonna treat these ladies.
So what's the closest to chai tea?
What's the closest thing you have to chai tea?
You said just chai tea by itself. Can I get chai tea with oat milk?
Do you want Hot or ice?
Iced. Iced, please.
I would like to get the big hibiscus. Iced, please. Do I need sweetener? Actually, no, I've had enough sugar for today. I just ate 2 donuts.
22-19. What episode are you on?
This is episode 5.
5. How's it going?
Good. So, and I'm going to tell these ladies because we just did an episode yesterday.
Oh, wow.
The last 3 episodes, while sitting in the drive-up, the windshield wipers have gone off and it has not been raining.
Wow.
No idea.
And it's not on in your
No.
That's so funny.
That's crazy.
It does happen randomly, sometimes like sitting at a stoplight, but for whatever reason, every single time I come.
There's something here activating it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Spreading hope.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, at least it's
Okay,
consistent.
thank you.
You know what's going to happen.
That's so funny.
And
Right on
it startles
cue.
me every time, too. Because I'm like, ah!
That's so funny. I was just like, wait, that was right on cue.
Yeah. So, yeah. I totally forgot what we were talking about.
Her career.
Oh yes,
What's the
because we were like, because we were talking about my backgrounds in finance, accounting,
And we talked
international
about your
tax.
mentor.
Yes, we talked about my amazing Mel. I love Mel. But I think that now getting the opportunity to go to the White House last year in September
That was so much
really just like this reignited my passion for advocacy. I was already doing it, advocating, but I think now it's really picked up a notch. And I was talking to Mel, and Mel always he said, I want you to have a seat at the table. Like, he was always like championing and said, you know what, I want you to really get in and get boots on the ground. And so like he told me this like a decade ago, and so for it to come back, I can't wait to have a conversation with him. And that's my wedding gift to him, because that was one of the things that he asked me to do. Is he was just like, I don't want you pull that from the back burner, because I know you met me here, but he said, I know political science and advocacy work is very important, so I want to see that. I want to see you do that. So yes, I cannot wait to his wedding day to tell him.
When's he get married?
August 2nd.
Oh, so coming up.
Yes, that's one of his
Nice.
wedding gifts.
Nice.
Yes.
What's our next question, Shantae?
So tell us how you got into your current business.
I never wanted to become an entrepreneur. There's no entrepreneurs in my family whatsoever. I just wanted to work for the government, retire, come back, double dip, let them pay off my student loans. That was my goal. I was just like, look.
I mean, that's not a bad goal.
It made sense to me. I was just like working. And so I was very clear. I had friends, and fun fact, I applied to the CIA when I lived in Virginia. And then I figured out that wasn't my pathway, because when they told me what all came with the job, I was just like, oh, yeah, that's not me. Let me look at state government. So that's how I ended up with the state government. So I just knew that that was my career path, and I actually was hired. I went through the interview. They interviewed like over 100 people. And so, of course, I'm sitting there, I'm nervous, and there's a guy walks out when I was coming. He said, don't worry, we got this. He said, you got this, don't worry, we got it. And I went to the interview. My mom helped me to get dressed. She helped me to prep. And so I went there. I was like, I think I did well. But I was like, Mom, they did over 100 interviews. They called me about over a month later on March 15th and said, hey, we would like to hire you. Welcome to the government. And so I thought it was a joke at the next thing, because they were like, well, can you start April 1st? And I'm like, is this and my immediate question was, is this a joke? I was just like, is someone playing on my phone? So my first day working at my government position was on April Fool's. I will never forget that, because I was so excited, because if you knew, I shared earlier, I was homeless. That was my bucket list job, to be able to work for the government. So to do that, I knew that was going to just be the change so much. But seeing and coming in, I was super excited. I was like, I'm going to do my time. I was already had the opportunity to work remote before this thing was now what we have. So it was the dream job. And so I never thought that I would call my mom years later and say, hey, Mom, in 6 months, I'm leaving my job. And so my mom was just like, well, you've always been a rebel. And I remember telling her, no, I'm a trailblazer. And I said, once I leave, I'm not coming back. And I remember my supervisor held my resignation. So I wasn't able to leave. I had to stay an additional 6 weeks. And she said, why are you going back out there? It's safe in here. And I told her, I said, well, she said, the door is always open. But I said, you know what? It's open on your side, but it's locked here.
Aww.
And I knew I wasn't coming back because I knew that there was other work, because of seeing that and seeing how many entrepreneurs had passions, but they just didn't have the right pathway, didn't have the right education, especially those who are, what I always said, is in the under communities. Sourced, banked, served, and represented. So I really just used my knowledge and what I had, what I learned, just trial and error in education and working with the government. And I started working with people. I had no idea that 9 months later I would be included in a that was pitched to Forbes, and that literally took off. And that's how things started. Banking institutions, fintech companies. I've had brand deals of multiple six figures, and even with that, the epitome, if anybody goes back, even when I was talking in Forbes, I said, you know what, Stewart ever calls me, then I know that it's time for me to make a pivot. And in 2022, her editor reached out to me and said, hey, Martha is looking for a woman to watch and a woman on the move, and she likes your story. And so I was included in a story.
Okay.
Yes. No,
we're good.
We're good. Yeah. Straws, please.
Do you need a straw, Shante? 2 straws.
All right, y'all. Have a good day.
Okay, you too. Thank you. Enjoy your weekend. Mm-hmm. This looks so good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Looks good.
Then check the camera again. I've learned the hard way a few times now.
Oh, this is great.
Sharita, this kind of looks like that drink we had in DC.
Which one? Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't wait to go. I already have my order ready for Negril.
Oh, yeah.
I already know what I want.
You got the next one, Shante?
Yes.
This is so good.
Who is your dream client?
My dream client.
Like, it can be like a specific person or like a type.
My dream client is General Mills.
Say more.
I love the story of General Mills. I like what they've done. I like organizations and companies who understand the need to be able to make sure that they understand their audience and how to evolve with times. And we are still eating some of those same cereals.
Yeah.
It's like years later.
And so I don't know. I love, and again, I come from a government background. I was an audit analyst, so I'm a rabbit hole person. So I like to go into the rabbit hole of companies. But I think my favorite and ideal client would be to work with on a multi-year deal with General Mills.
I don't know if this person's got a stop sign. That looks like a very tiny
They have a stop sign.
Yeah, it looks very tight.
What's our next one, Shante?
If I could wave a magic wand and solve one problem in your work, what am I solving?
I'm solving the lack of opportunity in rural communities.
What kind of opportunity?
I would always just say that they don't have to be known for just that one industry or that one thing, because there's so many opportunities that they have there, like this. I was able to, because I've worked in economic development and I love economic development consulting, working with a rural area, I helped them to identify that they could become a resiliency hub in multiple ways, but they didn't know that. So being able to just let them think bigger on what it is and to not be afraid, because sometimes, yes, we can still, keep what is known to that community, but let's look at what makes people want to stay, because this generation now does not tend to see the value of what a rural community could bring to them. They don't understand that you're not always going to be this young. Yeah. And you're not always going to want to live in a high rise or down some in whatever metropolitan city that you're in.
Yeah.
Because
it's interesting that you say that, because I find that there's such a broad lack of opportunity in rural communities, whether that's higher education, higher wages, or even just like experiences that are outside of their like ability to like imagine.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right.
Like when I went to school, I was like, I want to go and get an art degree. And I started like going to all these different schools, showing my artwork and everything. And then at one point, my stepdad was like, well, what are you going to do with that? And I was like, that's a good, solid question. And all I could come up with like was an art teacher. And like, that's not the only option.
Right. Because the people, I feel like they kind of just poo-poo on art degrees. They're like, is that really a degree?
Right. And so it becomes one of those things where like, well, had I known about graphic design or web design,
yeah,
or you know what I mean? Those things weren't even in my ability to imagine as careers. And so like, that's why I was like, oh, but what kind of opportunity, you know?
Yes, and I love what you said, because you're right. I want to be able to see more. It doesn't have to be the advanced thing. It doesn't have to take over, but just to be able to give them some opportunities. Yes, here's what you can do here. I think just even having the conversation of rural communities working with their economic development and understanding yes, the people are put in place to be able to help, but letting them know that what happens here it involves them.
Yeah.
Because if not, if you don't voice it or you don't say what you think or what you feel could be beneficial here, then others who are outside starts to look at your community and they start bringing in things or taking away because they're looking at it from their big picture.
Walmart. They killed so many things in our small town when they moved in. And it just, a lot of the quote unquote mom and pops stuff went away, you know. The local pharmacy, movie store, bookstore.
And we like those things. Like when you said the Midwest, we love Omaha. Like,
yes.
I feel like they did enough economic development, but they kept what makes Omaha community. It still has a rural feel, very family. Like, we feel very welcome when we go to Omaha, Nebraska. Like, even Iowa, we just hung out in Iowa. We're like, and so if someone's like, okay, what did you do? We had a blast. We met.
Where did you go?
We went to Harrah's. We went to the casino.
Okay.
But that's the thing. That's where people in Iowa like to hang out. That's the thing that's making money there. But it doesn't. I like that one thing created hundreds of jobs.
Yep.
But it didn't take away from the mom and pops, like you said.
Right.
It didn't take away from those things. It gave them something to do. But it kept a lot of their economic dollars there because they don't have that in Nebraska. So you get to be able to share some of those resources and you get some of those experiences without their dollars leaving and going somewhere else. So I do like that in Iowa the dollars are staying there and it's circulating in their community.
Correct, and it's not leaving
Right.
the community.
Right.
And so then, growing up, so we called them river boats because the casinos had to be on water. So was the one that you went to on water?
No, it was actually on land.
Okay.
But what we did like, it was like the one major hotel, like Harvard's was the hotel.
Yeah.
So they still didn't take away from from small businesses who may own like a Holiday Inn or something different. we liked it. I talked to the person. He was there for like 20 years. And I was like, so what do you do? And he was just like, this is the thing. But, you know, there's festivals. You can come here. And so, like you said, you get to really, when you talk to people who are there and live there, what do you like to do for fun? Like, what is it? What are some things? We asked him all the things. If you had to live anywhere else. And it was so good to hear that he said, you know what? I visited Houston. I love it. He said, you all kind of give us that same feel, very friendly, down to earth. But he said, it's something about Houston that still feels rural to me.
I agree wholeheartedly with that. Yeah.
And he said, you all are like a big city. I said, yeah. I said, Houston is a big, small town.
Yeah.
Everyone knows everyone.
Everybody, I said, it's a big, small town. And so he's like, that's it. He was just like, that's how you explain Houston. And he was from Iowa, but he's like, yes. He said, it's big. He said, it's big. He's like, I can't believe you can drive from one side and like the other side is like a whole. But he said, but when you go there, someone's going to know someone else.
Yep.
He said, it's like, it's a metropolitan city, but it's a town. It has a town feel.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about it is that there's not a lot of native Houstonians.
I know. I'm a native Houstonian.
You know, and I always say, like, those are the rare birds, you know, because a lot of people, even to this day, are still coming here. I've only been here, it'll be 7 years in July.
Yes, 500,000 people moved to Houston last year.
Wow.
Yes, 500,000 people.
And people are still moving
Yes,
here.
500,000 people moved here last year. And so, and you're just, and I said, he's like, you all still keep that hometown feel.
It's that quality of life,
Yes.
you know, and that's something.
I don't want us to be New York. I don't want us to be LA.
No, and I was going to say, having moved from New York to Houston, that was the one thing that we so deeply appreciated was, one, y'all have summer, like 7-8 months out of the year.
Yeah.
Summer. And we love that. Two, rather than putting work first, y'all tend to put friends and family first.
Right.
And you can tell by people don't answer emails after 5 o'clock on work days. When it's a holiday weekend.
Oh yeah, the city shuts down.
Yeah.
So we're done.
Yeah. But to me, I appreciate that, having lived in New York and that not being the case.
Right.
And it was like, oh, well,
constant grind.
right, if you take off on that holiday, one of your coworkers might show up and outshine you.
And you're out of there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know, so it's like a literal rat race on the sidewalk and in the workplace, you know, like there's no escaping it. And so being here and being able to raise our daughter and in that environment versus an environment like New York is,
I know, I
makes
need
me
grass.
happy.
I need to see a lot of greenery.
well, I need to see the sky.
Right. You should, like, I want to see it. You know, like.
I mean, when we moved here, we were like, we know this isn't big sky country, but God, the sky is big here.
Yeah.
Like to be in a city and just be able to see this much blue is, I find joy in it every day.
Yeah. I would have to agree. I need to see the sky. Yeah, I need to see that. So I get that question all the time. They're like, I said, I love the DMV area. I love Virginia. I like places that get all the seasons. But there's something that just can't beat, you know, living in Houston.
I'm like, I jokingly refer to myself as an adopted puppy dog. Like I found my forever home.
Yeah.
You know?
I was just like, nah, it's cool.
I mean, I might buy a second house.
Right, that's
else.
what I said. I was just like, I'm going to get me a corporate apartment in the DMV area, but I was just like, it will never be my main.
I will die in the house.
I was
Not
just like,
lying.
No, I just feel like I like the mood. I like the, you know, the cost of living. You can't beat it, especially for how things are now. Even though, you know, things have elevated in price and all of that, but it's still, you don't feel like you have to be in a rat race like New York or LA to keep a roof over your head. And I feel like we have a very progressive mindset, not just in the city, but the state. We want to see things happen and see change. Of course, you know, there's still a lot of things but I feel like we do get to see bipartisan things here, based on visiting other places and seeing who can move the needle. Like, we have some amazing people, like Tammy Wallace. I love her.
Yes, same. What's our next one, Shantae?
Name one of your core values, whether it's for you or your business, and why.
Core values, authenticity. Why is because I feel like I feel like when you are being your most authentic self in your personal life and your business, then you never have to feel like you have to live up to someone else's expectations. You can truly live in who you are. And I feel like you draw the right people and opportunities to you when you are your most authentic self. And even, like in your business, when you really speak to and with us, authenticity is important. I feel like it's opened the doors to things that I would have never imagined. Because if you are being something or code switching, are you really living the life and building the business that's going to be sustainable? Whether can you sustain, like I said, I wanted to be an actress, but those are scripts. I don't want to live my life as a script.
Right. Well, and also I find so many, not Trump is in a hurry. We're going to let him be in a hurry. I find so many people struggle knowing who they are, right, outside of their business.
Right.
Yeah.
Or outside of being a parent.
Yes.
And they don't have an identity, and so then they don't know what opportunities to seek, because they don't know who they are.
Right. I don't know if I would. That's my fear.
What's your fear?
That would be my fear, to not be able to live to live who I truly am, and to get older and then have regrets. Yeah. I'm just who I am. Like I'm not, like I said, I don't have all of the things worked out. And even as an advisor, I said, hey, I'm going to, I can teach you from where I'm at in my lived experiences. And it's okay for me to be able to tell you what I don't know. Because I think it opens up opportunities for me to be able to collaborate with others. You get to be able to get more expert opinions, connect with others who can grow your ecosystem. Because I feel like people who feel like they have to live under my title, whether that's mom, dad, wife, or whomever, or business owner, who are you without those titles?
Right.
It's like when it's just you and you're looking in the mirror.
Who is that?
Who is that?
Right. What's up next?
So let's fast forward 18 months. What have you achieved?
My new project will be off the ground, and we will have created a really robust learning. What my dream is next is this earn while you learn, because one of the things is I know how important education is, and I don't care what's happening in the world with education, but we are lifelong learners.
Yes.
And so it's important to me to be able to make sure that we are grooming our future leaders on this project and giving them the opportunities, because I think that a lot of times we get afraid to hear these two words, what's your exit strategy? It's like, what's your retirement plan? Even especially as entrepreneurs and small businesses and mid-sized business, when you ask them that, oh, this is my baby. Okay. But who are you grooming? We got to see Warren Buffett groom someone for almost 30 years. The new CEO takes over January 1. But he's still going to be able to do those things. And it's important to me as I start to think about what the next 18 months looks like for me. 18 months to me, I always like to listen to what Warren Buffett told us. Whatever goal that you're saying, well, what's my 12-month goal? What does that 12-month goal look like in 12 years? So when that question comes, what is that question in 18 months? It's to stand this up, because I know in 18 years, I'm going to watch the future leaders take over my vision and take it to a place that I never could have imagined, because this is only my viewpoint. but I get to be able to work with people and individuals who see far past where I could take this, and I'm happy to be able to allow them to take it and pass the baton and run with it. So even though it's 18 months is a short span, I'm looking at it from a short view. But what's the next milestone, that 18-month milestone that I want to look back and be able to say, you know what, I had this conversation in the car drinking chai tea, and 18 months later, look what it has manifested in 18 years.
Right.
So it gives you that time frame, because I have advisors who always tell me that many entrepreneurs get discouraged when they hear no or things don't work out. And so I've always told my mentees, no means next opportunity. Doesn't mean that you're not going to do it. Just doesn't mean I'm going to do it with you.
And also, it's not for forever.
Yes.
It just means no for right now.
Yeah. Yes. It doesn't mean it's closed off. And I think a lot of times entrepreneurs will be like, I had a bad month, or I had a bad quarter, or hell, I had a bad year. I was just like, it's a part of doing business. And I think that's the thing to kind of just look at. If you know what, you may have a not great 18 months in your business, but the next 24 or 5 could be absolutely amazing.
Do we have more?
You get to ask Maggie one question before we head into a round of this or that.
And Shantae, you have to come up with this or
Okay, so my question is, if you could take off 1 month, you have to pick 1 month, and it can't be a month in your birthday month.
Okay.
What would you do with that month, and why?
I would go back to Italy, and I would take the month of December.
Okay.
Because I've never been to Italy in December or over Christmas or any sort of like global holiday like that.
Okay.
And I would just rent a house and live in Tuscany somewhere and just hang out and do a whole lot of nothing, because I'm not very good at that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does nothing scare you?
Maybe. I think it's more of that in being sick last winter, I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink, I couldn't talk, I could hardly sleep, because every time I would lay down, I wouldn't be able to breathe. And so I just spent a lot of time by myself, with myself, like in my own head, right? You know, it wasn't like I didn't have nurses or doctors or my husband or anybody around me, but it was more of just like I didn't feel like talking because it hurt. And so it made me realize a lot of things, and in coming back, I realized that break that I had was good for me. Because in doing nothing, I like moved forward.
That makes sense.
Okay, I was like, I don't know if I'm saying it the
No,
right way.
no, that makes sense.
And it's like, we went to Italy 2 weeks ago, and we spent 10 days there in Tuscany, and on the flight back, which was like 10 hours, I wrote down like page after page of ideas that I wanted to do when I got back to Sesh.
Okay.
And to me, that reinforced the like stopping and doing nothing to jump forward. And so I feel like if I were to take that month, that's what I would want to do, is nothing.
Wow.
So what exactly is in this nothing? Because I'm assuming you do maybe some artsy things, but nothing where you have to think a whole lot. It's just like flowing.
Yeah, so like we would walk around town, wake up at 10 or 11 in the morning. One day we went truffle hunting. Another day we went swimming. Another day we went to like Siena. Another day we drove to Rome and walked around Rome. You know, I had my sketchbook with me. I would sit on the little terrace and sketch in the afternoons with my little glass of wine. Just kind of that type of nothing.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I was still checking my email, but what I learned on this trip in particular was the time change was 7 hours. So I wasn't exactly like able to communicate with the team.
Oh.
So like it had, everything was just delayed. They would send me an email and then I would have to reply and then they wouldn't get it until like
Yes.
it would be the next day basically. So I was like, oh, this was an interesting lesson to like, my team wasn't actually able to like call me or text me and get me immediately because of the time zone change.
Okay.
So that I think forced the nothing. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
I like that.
I mean, I've been to Italy a lot and we just keep going back. It just feels comfortable.
That sounds like a lot of
Maybe
fun.
that's your vacation place. Your vacation home.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like, what's that movie, Under the Tuscan Sun?
I don't know if I've seen that movie.
It's a good one.
Okay.
It's a
I
very
haven't
good
seen
one.
a lot of movies.
Okay.
I lived for a very long time without a TV, so
I understand.
I didn't watch. Okay. Are you ready for the round of this or that, Shantae?
Yes. So me and my best friend / new mentor ChatGPT came up with some this or that, more so ChatGPT.
Okay.
So the first one is luxury staycation or passport stamp adventure.
I feel like passport stamp because I feel like I can do a luxury staycation. I feel like I can do a luxury staycation, but passport stamp me, please.
Handwritten thank yous or fancy digital vibe with Canva.
Handwritten notes all the time.
They are. Dessert first or appetizers first.
My trainer would want me to say appetizers first, but because this is my question, desserts.
Okay. What's your favorite dessert?
My favorite dessert is red velvet.
Okay. I just knew you were going to say banana pudding. CEO title or creative director energy. I think I already know this one.
I feel like a lot of people put CEO and founder on their cards, but they don't really believe it.
That's very true.
And so, because, I feel like I would say director of creativity, because how many people have we seen that said, especially women entrepreneurs, we don't lead with, I'm the chief executive officer. We don't say it with our chest. But we will say we're creative and get excited about it. I'm a creative, I've done this, but you don't put that same energy out. When we meet our male counterparts, they say it with their chest. I'm the CEO and founder. They say it. It just rolls off, but they say it with conviction because they believe it.
Do you think that women don't say it with their chest because society has kind of like diminished us?
Yes.
And
100%.
so society has trained us to like always take the secondary role.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. For sure.
So maybe we just need to come up with new titles.
That's what I said. Yes, we need new titles. I think so. That's why I said we need a new title. We talked about this earlier this week. There's a difference between a micro business and a small business. Most small businesses are what the SBA standards. When we're talking about women entrepreneurs, they have less than 10 employees. So they're a micro business. But micro businesses are not funded. So this is why it's important for us to make sure that the language includes micro businesses, so that way there is resources and capital and other opportunities, including childcare, would be a resource and should be not just a conversation, but it should be something that is, on the house floor so that way it gets passed in the Senate and that it becomes a federal standard.
Well, I will be there with you because the federal standard does not allow a business like mine to get funding from the SBA. They will give funding to all these other businesses that have a very similar business model to my own. Country clubs,
It's
hotels,
right.
hair salons, gyms, but they will not give a co-working space funding.
No, they won't.
And I have
That's
gone...
why we're going to the Capitol September 19th and 20th.
I have gone to the SBA here in Houston twice and ran it all the way up, and they're like, you have to change the language in the federal code.
Yes, and so you can start on, so what we're doing is starting on the state level, and connecting, we are going on an advocacy day to talk about changing the language or creating the language around micro business, so businesses like Maggie's can be funded. But you have to get this in front of the lieutenant governor. So this is important for us to go there and let them see that there are women entrepreneurs who you say that you want to be able to see us expand and grow, but the language will expand our capacity. So yes, I'm with you, and I'm looking forward to having that conversation. And it's so funny is because a lot of women entrepreneurs don't know that your tax dollars and the things that you're doing, that the Capitol will help you to put a bill together complimentary, to be able to see how they can get this and get this worked in. And you come there and you petition to those, including the lieutenant governor, why this bill needs to be signed off. So that is one of what the work that I'll be doing over the next 3 to 5 years, to make sure that that type of language is heard by the lieutenant governor and the governor of the state.
Very cool. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on In the Car with You, and thank you for co-hosting.
Yes, this was great.
I was actually really looking forward to meeting your husband. Not that I don't want to meet you, but...
Cool guy. Yes, he's a cool guy. He's traveling all over the place. He's an electrical engineer, so very high demand. But he's making sure that the people who do this work, when fracking and all of those things, that they're safe. So
that's an important job.
That's a very important job. We need them. So yes, I will make sure. Maybe we'll do a round 2. He has a lot to say.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh, he's a former sailor. That's all I have to say. Shout out to the military. Shout out to the veterans. It's a bonus. No, but he's a really nice guy. Yeah. Yes, but definitely if you're ready to laugh your heads off, oh my gosh, you're gonna laugh the whole time.
Good. I love laughing.
Yes,
so,
laughing's good for us.
It's a good medicine. All right.
So
Well,
this
thanks.
is good. Good. Thank you. Thanks, guys.